Oh, I got stuck in the desk in a really cool way that you can't see. What's happening? Welcome to the show. There you go. Welcome in, everybody. The Broncos booze up. We're back. We needed a week to process and get our minds right, as it were, after the end of the season, which we're going to talk about tonight. But welcome back, and it's great to see my co-host, the captain, Captain Bronco. How are you? Why aren't you wearing your captain's hat?
First of all, I blame that loss on the fact that I cannot find the captain's hat. I somehow washed it and have lost it. And I attribute that 10-7 loss to the Patriots on myself. So I am sorry, Denver. Right. And I'm warming up my urethra because I have 3 ounces of pee to drink at some point after the Super Bowl.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, let's cover that first. So this asinine bet.
Yeah,
was made at one point, and
it's only asinine if you lose.
And you did. It was if the Broncos won, Colin would have to drink his pee again, and then if they didn't, then you would have to drink your pee.
The golden nectar, my friend.
It can be golden. It can also be other colors too that you want to probably hydrate up before you do this.
Yeah. I figured, look, we got to do it after the Super Bowl, right? Because Broncos haven't technically lost the Super Bowl yet.
True.
They could bring in, something could happen. They'd have to bring in a substitute, call in Denver. This is all me just filling in because I don't know why I made this bet, and now I have to drink my pee. So yeah, it's going to happen after the Super Bowl. John and I have talked about continuing the show in some way, shape, or form. So yes, it's happening. We'll consider a date, and we will announce it.
That we'll do a special show just for that, just so we can make sure everyone can either see and hear you gagging on your own urine.
Yeah, I think I thought about it and I felt like, people may call bullshit that I wouldn't do it. So I figured Carrie will have to get involved in some way, shape, or form to validate that off camera I am doing what I say I'm doing.
Camera? I thought you were going to fill it up on camera.
Oh, no. This is a family friendly show, Joe. That's John. That's why it's rated E for everyone.
Great. Okay. Yeah. Well, we'll see. I mean, you could just turn around. You could turn around and then just have an empty thing and then turn around and have it filled up. Look, I don't want to talk about pee. I've had to deal with my elderly father, and there's been some pee involved. And a lot of times when people get old, there's pee involved, and I want nothing to do with it. Okay.
Well, I mean, earlier today you were talking to me during something and almost dropped your phone. So I mean,
right, while I was peeing, exactly. Yes, the stupid phone case I have, very slick. It's very cool. It's a Nikola Jokic phone case. Almost slipped out of my hands and into the toilet as I was texting you. So it's good stuff. We'll deal with that. We'll deal with that down the road. What we have to deal with right now is the postmortem of the Broncos loss, which now is a distant memory for most folks. And I know everybody's already commiserated over it. They've heard the analysis and everything, but what they haven't heard is our analysis.
That's right. Your analysis.
Yeah, your analysis of what's going on, because that was what it was. It was basically someone just wetting their pants on the football field. Mainly Sean Payton wet his pants on the football field. We said all along that this is going to come back to bite them. He's going to do something, and he's going to fuck up in some way that's going to cost him a game. And that's what happened. And now everyone can go, oh, you should have kicked the field goal. You should have done that. That's really neither. Yes, they should have kicked the field goal, but he knew there was a storm coming in, right? He knew this. Everybody in Denver knew this. Everybody knew, hey, by the second half, it's going to get kind of nasty. If you've got your backup quarterback, you've got a storm moving in, why don't you take the points? you have no idea what it's going to be like later on. You know that, okay, well, this guy's not going to be able to throw the ball later because it's going to be like, a bad, maybe he didn't know it was going to be that bad. It was pretty bad. It got pretty bad at one point. Sean Payton is a fucking huge dummy. And I've said this whole time we've done this show, and it certainly cost him. Yes, they should have kicked that, but mainly because they knew the conditions were going to get bad. And when you watch that game near the end, I mean, there was a pass that Drake May made, and he basically was like, they said, oh yeah, if no one was on him, he's going to throw it to him. But if someone is even close to him, throw it away. I mean, they weren't even trying because they couldn't, because the conditions were so bad. So if you know it's going to be that bad, why not take the points there? Granted, that would have been a 10-10 game, but you never know. They missed another field goal here and there. Again, Sean Payton, big bozo. What do you think about that?
John, I'm going to finally admit it. You were right. You're right.
About time.
You were right all along, and I gotta say, I skeeted that out right after they didn't kick the field goal, and I said I'm not going to besmirch our great leader, but we should have gone for 3 there. And sure enough, it bit us in the ass. And I think the other part to this, as we talked about earlier in the season, it's like, you're a professional football team. We talked at length in one episode about the hydration of the grass, right? Like they've got people to do these things. Who the fuck was looking at the weather report and like, oh, it's going to be fine. Don't worry about a thing. The tale of that game from one half to the other, it was like a very nice, beautiful green grass. And by the end, it was carpeted in white with swirling winds. You missed 2 field goals, 1 questionable call about, a fumble that was, returned for a touchdown. But, you can't call those back. It was what it was. But that one decision fucked that game, in my opinion, wholeheartedly. It was stupid. And I think we could talk about what the future holds later on in the show after what happened when he fired his good friend Joe Lombardi.
Yeah, we can. You've got running backs who are like not great. Your best running back is more of like a pass catcher. You need somebody in those conditions. You need somebody to pound the ball. They didn't have anybody that could do that. Our buddy Snyder, who we had on a couple weeks ago, he said one coach knew what to do in the snow and another coach did not. And that is definitely the case because the coach of our team didn't know what to do and didn't plan for it and wasn't ready. And granted, that could have been, it could have been 10-10 and then the Patriots could have kicked another field goal. Who knows how it would have turned out. But to see that and go, what could have been is really frustrating. And I think that it came down to the last game of the season for the Broncos for Sean Payton to finally be like, hey, everybody, I'm a big fucking clown. And I hope everyone realizes it now. Well, look at me with my rainbow wig on and my big nose and my floppy shoes. Look at me, everybody. I'm a big fucking bozo. Honk, honk. Yeah. So it was, I guess, finally, maybe a good that everyone kind of finally saw it, but it was terrible. Now, granted, with their backup quarterback, if they had gotten through and they're going to go play Seattle, it'd be a bloodbath. So
I'm glad you said that because that was my feeling after the game. You watched that game and it was so terrible for an AFC championship game. Oh, yeah. And then to your point, it's like, you know what? In hindsight, I think I would have rather lost the AFC championship game than get blown out in another Super Bowl that we would all remember for a lifetime.
But by the Seahawks again.
Yes.
And that's a big thing. So if they're going to lose, you might as well just take a seat now and get it over with. Yeah, it's great to go to the Super Bowl, everything like that. I just don't think they were gonna survive. But perfectly winnable game. They just Sean Payton didn't know what to do. And the play calling was fucking terrible. And as you mentioned, your friend Joe Lombardi, I didn't even remember they had an offensive coordinator. I figured they did, but like I couldn't tell you his name. Like I know who Joe Lombardi is, but I couldn't tell you. I had no idea he was the actual offensive coordinator for the Broncos. I had no idea. And that really shows you how much Sean Payton has kind of grab the reins of the whole thing, where you don't even see the guy. Like you don't see the guy like, going, maybe that's not a good idea for a screen pass, Sean. You know what I mean?
Every game in the first series.
Yeah. So I think that's crazy. I'm glad that, they kept what's his name? That was the QB's coach.
Davis Webb.
Yeah, Webb. And I'm glad that they kept some continuity there. That's the thing. When I'm railing about firing coaches, they hate the response of like, oh, well, who would you hire? And I'm like, I don't fucking know.
Somebody better than the last guy.
Yeah, I'm not a GM. I don't know who's available. I don't know who we can afford. I don't know who's out there. So don't tell me. Bring me a list and I'll tell you. Because like when the Cardinals coach got fired, he was the defensive coordinator, pretty good coach. And I thought, ooh, this would be great. They could get him. Once Vance hits the road, they can pick this guy up. But no, didn't do that. We'll talk about him in a little bit. But yeah, it was not good. And then of course, Sean can blame it on this guy when Sean Payton's calling the fucking plays, right?
Yeah.
I mean, he was just there to probably go like, oh, okay, good screen pass call, boss. That's probably what he was there for.
It's interesting you say that, because it was like, here it is, they lose the game, and then all of a sudden, like there's going to be this mass exodus and hiring and firing of coaches. And then it's like, hey, Davis Webb. And, I've heard his name. I knew he was a backup under Buffalo. But you go, who is this guy and why did everybody want him? And it was like this mad dash. And all of a sudden it was like, oh, well, the only way they're going to keep him is if they get rid of Joe Lombardi. And people were like, that's not going to happen because he's best friends with Sean Payton. And then it's like, nope, not the best of friends if you're going to get shit canned. And here he went from a candidate to being a potential head coach somewhere else or an offensive coordinator. And the Broncos stayed and kept him. I mean, big Peener energy. I'll give him that. And we get to keep Fancy Pants.
Well, Vance is a whole nother story. He was supposed to be like, up for all these jobs and everything. And then of course, people like actually watched him coach and they're like, oh, this guy's terrible. There was a thing. It was the New York Times, the failing New York Times, as our president would say. And they were like, oh, all these black coaches didn't get hired. And that's kind of bad, whatever. Well, who do they show? They show Vance Joseph. And I was like, hey, there's a reason why Vance Joseph didn't get hired. And it's not because he's black.
Yeah, just look at the last time he coached the Denver Broncos.
He's fucking terrible. He's really bad. And I saw my note on this. I was like, has he not seen Drake May play? Had he not seen him play before? Because you're like, oh, this guy can run. So what do? Oh, you let him fucking run. Didn't he run in the touchdown? Yeah, he ran in the one score that the Patriots had. How do you not know this guy runs like that? He's a runner. He's a really good runner. So Vance Joseph just sat there with his thumb up his ass and just waited and was like, oh, well, shit, I guess maybe we got to stop him. And then by the time like the snow came in, it was too late. And it was just like, well, just try to keep him from, doing whatever. He's so bad. And now the Broncos are stuck with him because he didn't get hired somewhere else. So yes, we got to deal with Vance some more when we could have probably gotten rid of him if he had just held up his end of the bargain and coached a good game. Maybe people would have went, ooh, that guy's really good. So he's the second most reviled Vance in the country at this point.
It's funny you say that about, Drake May running all over the place, because during that game, I'm like, God damn it, we're getting reverse Knicks. Like, you play Bo Nix every week in your lead up to that week's game. You've got a scrambling quarterback and you couldn't contain him. It was just, I don't know. That game was so all kinds of awful. And I think I felt it by like halftime. I was like, this does not have the air of Mile High Magic. Like, we're going to come out of this.
No. And just to close the book on Vance, even though his book is wide open as far as the Broncos tenure, he hasn't adjusted all season long. You could see it. Like, they would do something, they'd do it like 5 times in a row, and then he'd go like, oh, maybe I better fucking put somebody on the tight end, And I really think, and I think we've discussed this before, he completely lived off of the talent of his players. And they were basically like, he was like, well, go out there and do something. And they were going out and doing stuff. But if you had a competent person back there to be like, hey, this is what they're doing. They're fucking throwing the tight end over here at this spot. And when they do that, they're going to throw to him, whatever. A smart person, someone who knows what they're doing, could probably suss that out a little better. So I'm very bummed that, yes, I knew we weren't going to get rid of Sean Payton. I just knew that, we're stuck with him for a while because they paid him too much money. They gave up too much to get him. Fine, that's okay. But then I thought, well, he promoted Webb to his offensive coordinator. Maybe that'll help. Maybe he'll be like, hey, buddy, maybe lay off the screen passes a little bit. But Vance is still there, and I don't think that's gonna get any better.
I don't have a problem keeping Vance. I mean, the defense was good overall. You're right. The talent, I think, superseded the play calling. I am hopeful that, the discussions about Davis Webb in the OC position, a lot of people are talking about him making the calls versus Sean Payton, but I don't think that's going to happen. I think there could be a split there. Maybe, Sean calls one half, Webb calls the other, and you see where it goes. But, I do have a lot of hope in Davis Webb, and it's not because I know anything. I just think the league was very interested in grabbing him from a lot of different teams, and so that means there's something there.
Well, he probably, because he's quarterback's coach, right? So
yeah.
He probably worked with Nix pretty closely, so he can sit there and be like, hey, maybe he's the one that was like, when they were just doing dumb bonehead plays, him and Nix were like, oh God, this sucks, and they're like, yeah, when we have a chance, let's do this a little differently, which would be fantastic. So I'm happy about that. I think that's great. I just think that having Vance around when there's probably other people that you could bring in and replace him. You could be like, hey, thanks for everything, buddy. Good luck. Hit the road. But no, they're going to be stuck with him. So that kind of sucks. Yeah, it's just, I wish they could show him the door, but I don't think it's going to happen. So.
Yeah, one of the things Sean Payton did, which was a bonehead, thing for him to do. I know, I'm going all in on you, John. I'm going all in on this. Sean Payton is a goober talk, but I can't believe that guy in a press conference called out Bo Nix and talked about his ankle issues to the public, and then to have Bo Nix come out afterwards and go, "That's not Sean Payton's, department to sit there and talk about my injuries." I'm like, oh Christ, here we go now. It's just like, damn it. What was his face? The stupid head coach that we ended up getting from the Patriots with his ice cream truck, whose name shall not. It was like when Josh McDaniels got rid of Jay Cutler, right? Mm-hmm. Because he wouldn't shut his mouth. And I'm like, great. We already have the beginning of a rift between Bo and Sean. I don't know. It just was very uncomfortable when I saw that.
I didn't see that, and I'd be pissed too. I think
because especially if he's coming up on a contract, right? That's gonna fuck with his negotiation money
with Bo's.
Yeah, because if Bo's like, hey, guess what? I want a big contract, and now it's out in the league that he's got all these ankle problems. The Broncos are now going to get him at a cheaper price, and they're going to fuck with his money.
Well, that's normal for sports teams, right? To try to nickel and dime the players all the time. They won't nickel and dime Sean Payton. Sean Payton should give back his fucking check for this year for that performance. But Bo Nix is the one that actually makes it happen on the field, and they'll rip him off just because they can. But I don't know. You know what? If Bo's important enough and he says, hey, maybe we should find a new coach. Maybe that would work. I don't know how that goes. It depends on your relationship with the owner.
Sean Elway and Dan Reeves.
There you go. Exactly. It became clear that Elway was like, I can't coexist with him. And it was like, well, do you want me or do you want him? And that's a fair question to ask, And, there's been other, your Colorado Rockies, they did that. They picked the GM over Nolan Arenado, and Nolan's career didn't turn out how it should, but he probably would have still played pretty well in the last couple of years, but they essentially picked the GM over him. That's never a good thing unless you're ready to get rid of somebody. And I don't think they're ready to get rid of Bo Nix. I think he's got a bright future. So is that with Sean Payton? Because if it keeps happening and they keep clashing, down the road, well, what are they going to do? Your Peeners will need to make a decision.
I got to say, all things aside, I'm down with the Peeners. The big Peener energy is here to stay. They're investing in the team, and hey, look, after that game, I'm in for a retractable stadium. I'm in now. Fuck the weather. I don't need anything else fucking up championships.
It was really cool looking and it's fun, but like not in a game like that.
Yeah,
like that game. Like if that was like a couple weeks ago, that'd have been fantastic. It'd have been like, this is really fun to it'd been fun to be at. It'd been fun to watch. Not when it really matters. But again, I just don't think they were going to go much farther than that. So I didn't have my hopes up. If what's his name, Stidham, if Stidham had like lit him up and was like, looked really good, I'd be like, whoa, hey, we might have something here, but he didn't do that. He was fine. But again,
that first drive gave us hope though.
Yeah, for sure. But
throw to Mims in a 7-0 lead was fun.
But it just we just knew it wasn't going to go too much further than this. So that's fine. We can at least rest on that. But I'm telling you, if this same shit happens next season, if we see the same boneheaded stuff that we saw from Sean Payton this year, I really think they have to start looking ahead and going, okay, what are we going to do about this? Because I just don't think he's got it, man. I don't think he's got it. And granted, if he gets more of the people he wants, maybe it'll be a little different. But it just seemed to be some dumb shit all season long, and like I said, it just came back to bite him.
Yeah, it was like a car trying to start, right? It was like, oh, this maybe we're gonna do something, and it just never did. But I do think, I will give Sean Payton credit. The Broncos have continued to get more wins each season. We made the playoffs last season. We got to the AFC Championship this season. Now he's got $40+ million to work with. I enjoyed his quote when somebody asked him that during the press conference, and he's like, it's like having $50,000 to redecorate your house or $250,000. You got a lot more to make your house better. But I do think, when you look at the offseason and having $40 million, I mean, I myself personally would love to see another wide receiver to match Cortland Sutton on the other side. Michael Pittman would be a great one. His dad used to play for the Broncos. That would be a great pickup.
Michael Pittman's dad used to?
Yeah. Michael Pittman Sr. He was a Bronco.
Really? What was he, a defensive player?
Yeah, he's got some big-ass arms, man. Look it up.
What was he? Like a linebacker or something?
I think so.
He wasn't like a receiver.
No.
Wow. Okay. That's hey, why not? That sounds great. He was probably a kid. He was probably a kid when his dad was playing here then, right? So
yeah.
So that Well, there's plenty of options. So speaking of the coaching one, Mike McDaniel, who ended up going to the Chargers, your San Diego Chargers.
Yeah.
He would have been perfect, but I think that's too much of I don't want to say a personality, but like Sean Payton needs and he got his guy. That's fine, I get it, but like that's the type of guy who would probably think like, oh, he's going to steal my job. He's going to steal my job here.
Absolutely.
But Mike McDaniel, a Denver kid, was a ball boy for the Broncos. Went to my high school. He would have been great, and is very creative. Well, not that great of a head coach, but very creative offensive coordinator. But of course, never even looked his way. So, but yes, there's a lot to do. We're going to see that with the extra money. Hopefully, they can do some good things with it. There's obviously things that they have to do on the offensive side of the ball. The defense always can get better, but they look pretty good despite the coach, of course. Yeah. So
but think about it. I mean, look, there's some good players out there who are going to probably be open. Like, look at the Bears, right? They're going to want to go after Max Crosby, and they're way over their cap already. I mean, can you imagine getting a tight end like Cole Kmet? on our team, and I've said this for many, many years. When the Broncos win championships, they have an incredible tight end, a blocking, receiving tight end. That would be great. Josh Jacobs at running back. Could you imagine getting Josh Jacobs in here? And I think, as you said,
is Josh Jacobs like free agent?
Yeah, he's going to be free agent, or he's going to get cut. And so, you look to your point about $40 million and some of these gaps you could fill in with some good players. I think all of a sudden you start looking at consistency on the offense, which we didn't have. And then, like we said, bringing in Davis Webb, promoting him to offensive coordinator. Maybe we'll get some more interesting plays than what we got, because it felt really weak all season long. There was nothing really that exciting.
No, not really. And we say that, and that was like a 12-2 record, right? And they lose like 3 games, whatever it was.
Yeah, but it was 1 point wins. Like, I don't want to be part of the heart attack crew again next season.
Yeah. They didn't skate to that record. They trudged up a hill to that record. So So you know what? I want this season to be over, so we can get on with it, because just having to wait around now for it, I'm just like, okay, come on, let's go. So you want it to be over, so then they can get on with these things. Which brings me to my next point, that I am very reluctantly rooting for the Seahawks. Now, I know you said, I'm not going to watch it. I know you're not either. No, there's no reason to. I don't want to see either team win, really, but I definitely don't want to see the Patriots win. So I'm reluctantly rooting for the Seahawks. I will root for them from afar. I'll be like, hey, I'm gonna be doing this over here, and you guys, good luck. But make sure the Patriots don't win. But I don't really care, and I think that's your sentiment as well, right?
Yeah, I mean, I just have no interest. I mean, even. I think previous Super Bowls, I was like somewhat interested in the halftime show. Like, I don't know who this Bad Bunny guy is. Like, I heard about him a few weeks ago. That doesn't interest me. Somebody was like, well, what about the commercials? I'm like, well, they're going to be out the week of the Super Bowl, so I don't need to watch them for that. So
they're already online.
Yeah, I think maybe the only thing I'd be interested in seeing is the Avengers Doomsday trailer that's supposed to come out. That may be the only reason, but that'll be on YouTube. So why waste 3 hours of my life?
Yeah. There's no point. I'm pretty sure the Seahawks are going to win. I think they're going to roll over them. I think like Drake May ran into for the first half anyway, the one that wasn't snowing. He looked a little off balance when he met against some guys who were pretty damn good. One of my notes was the Patriots are evil and Robert Kraft will be sucking dicks in hell. That is one of my notes.
Hey, I mean, how awesome was it that Bill Belichick nor Robert Kraft got into the Hall of Fame? Like,
both of them, yeah.
And I forgot who it was, but it was a former Bronco who's turned talking head, was like, well, there's no happy endings here with Robert Kraft. And I was like, beautiful. Well done.
Hey, you know what? Like, think about that. Like, the dude seriously got caught like getting a hand job in a massage parlor. I mean, like a lot of that, as we've seen lately, a lot of that gets brushed under the rug.
Yeah.
But maybe that's a thing. They're like, hey, look, everybody remembers you getting the hand job from the captive woman in the massage parlor, dude. It's not cool at all. And we can't really hook you up with this. But again, why Robert Kraft? I mean, okay, yeah, they won a ton of Super Bowls. I get it, but the dude just sucks. He's just a piece of shit. And I guess that doesn't preclude you from going to the Football Hall of Fame. But did you really do anything, or you just sit there and sign the checks? I mean, it's. I don't see how that is really his thing. Belichick and fucking Tom Brady are the ones who got those Super Bowls, so more power to them. But Robert Kraft, no, I'm not down.
I think Belichick didn't get it because everybody was kind of embarrassed for him and his 26-year-old girlfriend, and they were like, "Hey, maybe not now, right? Like you're really sucking the dog over at UNC. Like, let's just give this some breathing room."
Well, I think he's an asshole, and I think that's a big part of it. I think he's a real notorious prick, and I think a lot of people were like, "Hey, guy was a real asshole to me. I'm not going to vote for him." that has real world consequences. You know, if you're an asshole like that, people will remember that. So Sean Payton, good luck getting into the Hall of Fame, buddy, because apparently you're very abrasive too, and no one's gonna vote you in either. So
can I just say I lost it for the Hall of Fame when, you know, Pat Bowlen was dying, and, you know, of all the owners, I think that deserve to be in the Hall of Fame when they were alive, he was one of them, and they gave it to Jerry Jones that year. And I was just like, you know what, this whole thing is a sham. You know, I just, the Hall of Fame is nice, but I just don't understand the voting. I don't understand the thought that goes into it. And every year it just seems like somebody who should have been in didn't get in. And so it's like, well, I could care less about the Patriots people, but I don't know. Fuck.
No, it's legit. And, you know, you're right. Pat Bowlen was on his way out. You could have said, hey, he's going to get it anyway. Why not give it to him when he's, he might not have been aware of it at that point. I don't know his mental state, but, you know, Jerry Jones is still alive. Jerry Jones is going to be alive till the end of time. He's like fucking Mr. Burns. He's the Texas Mr. Burns.
That's right. You know? You should be dying. I don't understand why you're alive, but all these diseases are stuck in the doorway like that.
That's right. Right. You can't. Yeah, don't let them out. You got to just keep. You got to keep them right where they are. That's like Lemmy from Motorhead. You know Lemmy from Motorhead.
Yeah.
So Lemmy from Motorhead like went to the doctor, and the doctor was like, "Oh, well, just, you know, you're basically kept this in balance. Don't change anything." So he's like fucking drinking and taking speed, and he was like, okay. And so he just had to keep doing what he was doing. It's a story I heard about him. I don't know if it's true or not. But yeah, fucking Mr. Burns from Texas. You know, I don't, you know, Pat Bowlen had some like love child or something, you know, he had that going on for sure. But, you know, that can be forgiven. Jerry Jones is in the photograph where like the guys are like in the diner screaming at the black girl. You know what I'm talking about? Like he's hanging out in the background. Now he wasn't screaming at anybody, but he was still there. I'm sure he wasn't just a casual observer. So anyway.
Oh, and he's been caught on camera saying shit before on hot mics, you know, that was really offensive. I mean, the guy's a tool.
Yeah, he sucks. Yeah.
And that's why we're never going to get, you know, endorsed or sponsors on this show. And that's fine because we can say what we want. We're beholden to nobody.
Well, listen, you've done nothing but stroke the peeners this whole time. So
Walmart Plus, that's my contribution.
That's right. You love your Walmart Plus, and you know what? Maybe they'll be like, hey, this one guy on here really loves us. The other guy, not so much. But we'll support half of the show.
That's right.
Right down the middle here. Yeah.
You know what I thought was interesting, not to make this a political episode, you know.
Oh, well, we are, because I got something to bring up in a second.
Oh, good, because you know the Epstein files, just for historical reference, were
what are those?
Yeah, I don't know, but there's some fascinating reading, John.
Yes.
But you know, of all the people who were in it, you know, Bill Gates gets his wife a VD, and then he asks somebody to give him some pills so he can slip his wife some antibiotics so she doesn't get, you know, the VD. All this stuff is great. But you know who wasn't in the Epstein files that everybody probably thought would be?
Who?
Charlie Sheen.
Wow, you're right. Yeah.
How did Charlie Sheen not make it to Epstein Island?
Charlie had his own Epstein Island going on, I'm pretty sure. So it's called Catalina Island.
That's true.
he was heading over there and having his own thing. That one of the Giants owners was in there, and he was like somebody's hooking him up with babes. I'm like, come on, fellas, like look at. Everybody wants to get laid. I get it. But to what extent are you doing this? You're like trusting this guy, and like it just doesn't, like, these people are so fucking dumb. They're such dummies.
But that's the ironic part. Like, did you see the image of Stephen Hawking? Apparently the world's smartest man was laid out with his deflated legs on Epstein Island with two women to his left and right. And you're just like, man. The world's smartest man got bit into this.
I don't begrudge him that at all, because that's probably the thrill of his life. He's like, I fucking invented string theory, but my biggest accomplishment is getting laid on Epstein Island.
I got string theory, and now I have G string theory.
Yeah, G string theory. That's right. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. The best part of it, and I've said this multiple times online, is that Elon Musk was desperately trying to go, and he was like, when's the craziest party you're gonna have, bro? And then it just never, and then I don't know if he ever ended up going. He probably did, but like it just seems like he was trying really hard. And they were like, and the one time Epstein's like, hey buddy, wink wink, you know, got some real VIPs at this summit in New York, wink wink. And he's like, I'm really busy and I don't think this would really be worth my time. He's like, hey dummy. And he's like, there's no one going to be under the age of 25, and like, figure it out, you fucking nerd. And so what's funny is that fucking nerd is so unpleasant that Epstein's probably like, okay, I can't get through to you. Fucking Bill Gates, who's supposed to be the biggest nerd in the world, is down there getting diseases from Russian prostitutes. So like, what's wrong with Elon that he couldn't figure that out? You know,
world's richest man couldn't get his own ticket.
God damn, Bill! You see Bill Gates, right? Like it's like okay, this guy got laid. It turned out poorly, but still, he was down there doing his thing. Elon couldn't figure it out. Like, oh my God, what a dense person. Jesus.
Well, what's crazy to me is you have these people who are so influential, like in the technology space, right? Like Bill Gates probably fucking practically created email, and it's the thing that's going to bring him down. Like you had no security protocols. Like you didn't think 5 steps ahead. Like this was not going to come out. I don't know.
Or like you and I being married men, like going somewhere and being photographed, like with like half naked, like fucking 17-year-olds. I'd be like, all right, we're not doing this.
Put your cameras away. What are we doing here?
Yeah, I'd be like, I don't feel good about this one. You know, like it's one thing if you're like, oh hey, I fucking Woody Allen's here. I'm gonna take a picture with Woody Allen. I mean, that's different, right? So, yeah, it's really disturbing. I'm hoping that Robert Kraft shows up in that one too. I think
he's got to, right? Like I think the thing that's so fascinating about this whole thing, and not that this show's about this, but it's waiting to see whose name drops next. And like there's got to be odds of like which scumbag in the world whose name is going to pop next on the list.
And there's plenty of people that I'm sure just like, you know, there's people who like, you know, contacted by him and were like, oh, I don't know, whatever. Or someone said, stay away from that. The problem is that when a lot of these people were saying, yeah, I can't wait to come to the island. It'd been like 5 years since he'd already been charged with like fucking sex trafficking.
Oh yeah.
So they knew. So it'd be like, if I was your consigliere, right? And you know what that means, right?
Yes.
You've seen The Godfather, right?
We have.
Okay.
Many times.
Go ask your wife what it means. So if you came to me and you said, hey, this guy, Jeffrey Epstein, he wants me to come down and party with him, I'd be like, hey, hang on a sec, boss. Let me do a Google search real quick. And I'd be like, ooh, I don't know, sexual assault conviction.
Hey, you know who was on it? Just to bring it back to the Broncos, Russell Wilson.
Oh, I did say it with the plane. Yeah.
Yeah. And he's like, oh, not today, Satan.
Yeah.
Some guy brokered a deal for me. I'm like, I don't like you. So I still think you're involved in some nefarious BS.
He could be. I just think there's people like Chris Tucker, the actor, was like in there, and he was like, he goes, I went on a flight to Africa to bring people like, you know, food and medicine, and we were there together, and he goes, that's the only time I met the guy, and I was like, okay, fair enough, I'll take that. It's you know, you show up multiple times, there's a problem, right?
Oh, absolutely. I think the first thing that I saw that really made me laugh was that Microsoft see, this is the thing, like this whole series is fascinating to me because Microsoft, the owners of Xbox kicked Jeffrey Epstein off of Xbox Live and sent him like, hey, we're kicking you off because you're a pedophile. But the CEO of the company, hey, he's still going down there.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just so good. It's so tasty.
It's so good, and it's so tasty, and it's so bad, and it's so distasteful.
And that's the other thing. I was talking to some people today, and I go, you know what really kind of grosses me out is that like the country's premier Gestapo, the FBI, had these files for what, 6 years plus now?
Easily.
And they did nothing. And you think about all these kids who were involved in this and all the crimes that were committed, and you're like, you did nothing to stop this? Like, That is at the heart of the issue.
That's the money. That's me making the money sign. If you're not watching at home, that's big money getting involved there. So, well, that's they said. They were like, oh, Trump's like, a lot of people are going to get hurt by this. I'm like, well, I know somebody definitely is going to get hurt by this, but you're right. There's probably a lot of people, but fuck them. What? Fuck them. Like Bill Clinton's in there, but honestly, like Bill Clinton, like is not in. I've not seen his name come up with anything really salacious. Like he's definitely there and he definitely partook, but I don't see anything that's like too horrible about him, but still fuck him if he's in there,
And that's the other thing that's interesting, right? Like you go through some of these emails and it's like, hey, some names redacted, other names not redacted. And we're like, no, you got to pull the black box off that one, buddy. It all comes out.
If Russell Wilson's name's in there, then we need to see Joe Flacco's.
Mm-hmm.
Right? We want to see Joe Flacco's name in there, where all its glory.
Lewis. I want Ray Lewis in there.
Oh yeah, for sure. Now, so that's the thing. The Diddy parties, right? Kind of seem like now, like, oh, that's some weird shit. But it was almost like they either had people who really wanted to be involved in it. They paid some people to be there. All seem to be kind of like, while very weird and gross, fairly like, okay, hey, if you're a bunch of adults and you want to do it to each other, go for it. Do your thing. But a lot different than fucking bringing Alan Dershowitz down to like have sex with 14-year-olds. You know what I mean?
I mean,
not that he did that. I'm not saying Alan Dershowitz did that.
Let's just clarify. Nobody's
just want to clarify.
Yeah, isn't it funny how time changes thing? Like, here we go. The beginning of the Diddy stuff, he's got Costco levels of baby oil. And everybody immediately like, that is disgusting. And like the world is like, oh no, hold on, we're not done yet. Let's talk about Epstein.
Let's turn the page and you're going to be even more disgusted. So
yeah.
I was gonna bring up this other thing, and this isn't exactly political, but it does involve like kind of like booty. As I've stated, I was gonna put this online, and I thought, you know what, I'm gonna look kind of like a creep if I write this out. So I thought
let's talk about it.
It'd be better if I talked about it. So what I was gonna say, and I've said this before, Instagram is if you're a male of a certain age, or maybe even younger, it's nothing but ass. Right? Oh yeah. It's nothing but ass. And so it was funny because I was saying to my wife, I was like, oh, there's nothing but ass. And she's like, mine's a lot different than yours. And I said, absolutely. It should be. She's like, I'm getting like recipes and fucking folk rock stuff. And I'm like, yeah, I'm not. I'm getting lots of ass. And I'm fine with that. Like, I don't mind,
I'm fine with it. That's good.
Hey, I think we talked about like strip clubs. I'm not into strip clubs, but there's nothing. If I could just go into a strip club and maybe have a couple drinks and watch from afar, I'd be happy with it.
Great buffets.
Yeah, I'm cool with it. So when I get the basically that on my phone every day, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna look at a little ass. It's fine. I'll just peruse, and it's nothing really pornographic, right? It's Instagram, so it's just booty and jiggling, and it's all good, right? If you're into that. So what I've noticed is that all these like kind of like OnlyFans girls who are doing their advertising on Instagram, right? They're like showing like, hey, this is what I look like, look how hot I am. And then they're like, they want you then to go, oh, I'm going to go to the OnlyFans where I'm going to get all the the naked stuff. Totally fine. I don't go that far with it. I'm just like, hey, you're not going to get my money.
You're not getting my $10.
But what I noticed is, like a lot of these, not a lot of them, but a few of them have like, they like all of a sudden they can't take it anymore and they go full MAGA, and they start like freaking out and doing like this full MAGA drop. So this other one the other day, and I just been following her. She was, very pretty, dumb content, right? Like she's like, in a car pretending to suck her boyfriend off or something, and it's all like fake and everything. But so all of a sudden she like says something about how like, oh yeah, people blaming Israel, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, yeah, I went, what?
Where we go? What?
I was like, what the fuck was that? And I was like, okay, whatever. And then like 2 days later, all of a sudden she's ranting about how everyone should speak English in America. Jesus. And I was like, I go, okay, that's fine if that's your opinion. But I go, no one's here for that. No, everyone's here for one thing, and it's to see you bounce around in a bikini, right? And I think, and here's the thing, I think they think like, I'm so much more than this, and I have opinions, and I need to get them out. And it's like, hey, that's totally fine. You should do that. But you realize that everybody's like, probably half the people that are viewing you are going to bail out because they're going to be like, well, shit, I don't agree with this, or this is my second language is English. Well, you know what?
Yeah.
And it's so funny because I've seen it happen a couple times. It's like they feel like, I can't not let my opinions out. My opinions are so good. I got to let them out. And it's like, that's not what we're doing here. And like I said, I hope you can do that. I want you to, voice your opinion. And if you have an intelligent thing to say, but it's never an intelligent thing to say.
No.
It's always really fucking ham-fisted like that. So I've noticed that a lot, and I see it every once in a while. And this one happened recently, and I was like, oh God, I can't. And I was just like, it was like saying goodbye to a lost love. I was like, I gotta unfollow you now. And I was like, see you. I was like, I gotta go.
See you later.
Yeah. I was like, oh, just sorrow is such sweet partying, or however that phrase goes. But I can't sit there and suffer through that. I'm like, okay, I'm not going to listen to this anymore. But that's the thing. There's so much more ass. It just takes something else takes the place of it.
It's so funny you say that because Carrie said the same thing to me. It was like, she's looking at my phone while you're doom scrolling in bed, and she's like, your content's very different from my content. And she's like, I get Italian recipes and homes in Italy. I'm like, yeah, I got midgets wrestling.
Yep.
It's quite different. But to your point about OnlyFans model and then voicing her political opinions, it's kind of like that with actors for me now at this stage in my life.
Sure.
Right? It's kind of like, hey, I watch you do some really great films, and like, oh, you're in this war film, and then after the war film's out, you're like, but genocide is awful and guns should be banned, and I'm like, you just made $100 million off a war film. Like, no, just stop.
I do think that, like, and maybe this is cherry picking, but like when someone's like, hey, I think people should stop killing each other, that's fine because the sentiment is
it's a general good idea.
Yeah, but then when the OnlyFans girl is saying we need to send more munitions to Israel, you're like, oh man, that's not.
You really left the reservation on that one.
Yeah, that's not cool. You could be like, you're like, hey, maybe everyone needs to chill out over there, or whatever, but it's not.
Love
it's
one
not
another.
So, but no, it's all that. I just think and like. I don't want to say, hey, people say, oh, stick to sports, or people say stick to jiggling, right? It's like, they could do that. I don't want people to necessarily do that because they should be able to speak their mind in some way. But
they have to be prepared for the repercussion of it.
Oh, absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know if you know this guy, Scotty K Fitness. Have you heard of this guy?
I don't think so.
So he's an influencer. He's a bodybuilder and all the rest of this stuff. And he's all about positivity and all the rest of this stuff. And this guy ends up commenting on one of his videos, like, oh, you're a homo or something. And this guy his brain switches off and he doxes this guy. And the guy's like handicapped and all the rest of it. And so now, like, all of his sponsorships are being taken away. Everybody's now digging into this guy's history. And it's like, oh no, he like abused his kid who's handicapped, and he like almost broke this woman's neck, and he changed his name from this to Scotty K. And you're like, yeah, you know what? The internet's gonna find you. Like, if you're a terrible human being and you've done some nefarious shit, people are gonna find out.
Yeah, that's why I just don't understand that whole like let me draw attention to this situation that that I don't want anyone to find out about, but now I've opened myself up to everyone's going to find out.
Yeah, let me tell you how hypocritical I am.
Yeah, it happens quite a bit. So I don't know. It's a wonderful place, that internet. But
hey, that was a great middle segment. Like, I think that's the first time we've off-railed to something like really nefarious and terrible and laughed about it.
Well, I had to get that out because, like I said, I couldn't type it out because I typed it out and it made me look like I was ogling ass, which I am, but I didn't want people to know that. You know what I mean?
There's no way this comes across well in 140 characters.
No. There's all sorts of things. Like I said today about that I was saying, oh, I feel bad for that woman who thinks her mom's been kidnapped. That newscaster, and I said, like, well, if they got my dad, well, good luck.
I saw that. If he doesn't get his cowboy shows, he's going to be really upset.
Yeah, if he doesn't get his cowboy shows, he's going to be very unpleasant. And it's like, it's funny, but I don't want somebody to go, oh my God, this guy hates his dad. It's like, it's not exactly like that. So
no, you can. I think your family and your stuff and your own self-loathing is fine commentary, right? Because it's you're commenting on your own life. It's when you start commenting on others when you don't know their situation is when it goes off the rails.
Well, tomorrow when I promote this show, I'm going to be talking about how I think we need to spend more money on munitions to Israel, and I'll try to think some other controversial things too.
It's great because, a matter of fact, our good friend Luke Charles in Australia, he sent me a reel over the week after the Broncos lost. And do you know what the Australians call like banana hammocks over there?
Oh no, I don't.
They're called budgie smugglers. Which is just the best name ever, budgie smugglers. And he's like, hey, look, here's this NFL ad in Australia for all these NFL teams who have budgie smugglers. He's like, when the Broncos get one, I'll send one to you. And I thought to myself, like, that's a great name for an episode, the budgie smugglers. And it's like, I feel like after all this talk about what we've discussed, if AI picks that title, I will not be depressed.
Oh, AI is picking titles? What is this?
Absolutely. I throw this thing into Gemini and I'm like, hey, give me the transcript, give me 10 titles of, and it does. So
you just have to say budgie smugglers, budgie smugglers, budgie smugglers, budgie smugglers.
Yeah. Well, the other thing too is that Apple will now automatically create chapters in your podcast for you and then link off to things.
Oh, okay.
And so I'm like, I think they just do it within their own ecosystem now. But like, if you did say budgie smugglers and they were linking off, I at least want some commission for what's sold.
Denver Bronco budgie smuggler.
Yeah.
Where's the horse fit? I don't know. Like, what's going on there?
What part of the horse is where, right?
Yeah, oh man, I don't know. I know they love their tiny swimsuits down in Australia, so I'm sure I'm sure you're going to look really good in it, Captain.
You know me and tight thongs. It's just I got a lot to go there.
I think that's your next thing. Is I think you should have that little banana hammock on, and while you're drinking the pee.
Yeah, I now that you say this, maybe I will evolve the Captain Bronco outfit from what it was. I used to go to the game with the cape and the Denver Bronco yoga pants.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll just go full Borat and have the budgie smugglers and the cape.
That's right.
Let everybody enjoy the view.
Well, every home game this year was like above 60 degrees at start, except, well, even this one. Well, no, I don't think it was. That was colder that day.
It did snow at halftime.
It did snow at halftime. So I think it was a little colder. I think it was already creeping down. I didn't remember that part of it. Yeah. So you could certainly hit the game next year in your budgie smuggler.
Shoot, it's so hot in California right now. We were in the 80s and I'm wearing a tank top. It's what a winter.
Broncos branded budgie smuggler. Say that 10 times fast.
Big Peener energy and budgie smugglers.
That's right.
It goes hand in hand.
All right, let's get out of here because I've got to go stretch for my late game tonight. If I don't start stretching now, I won't be able to do it.
Are you going to record like you did at practice the other night? Because that was an incredible shot.
That was a game. That wasn't practice.
Oh, was that a game?
That was in a game, yes.
You need to record more of that. We need more John Reedy hockey shots on your channel.
So on Thursday nights, which I'm going tonight, one of our guys, he records them all the time. So those usually get recorded. There's a dude who actually I just played. I've known him. I played with him before. We played him on Sunday. He's got a camera that he sets up like almost in the middle, and it's one that follows the action.
Oh, how cool!
Yeah, and I got to see if he can send me that link because he filmed that game too. But this game was great because I scored twice. So I had that. What was really funny is I clipped those out. So I didn't show you the other one. The other one was pretty cool too, because I was going to get knocked down and I fell over and I shot it and I still scored from way out.
Nice.
But the one that you probably did see, I showed it to my oldest kid and he goes, "Oh, that's really cool." He goes, "Well, I don't know if it's just the video, but everything looks really slow." And I was like, "No, you are right. Everything is really slow."
You're like, "No, that was half speed. I just want you to be able to track the puck."
Yeah, I slowed it down just so you could see it. I was like, "No, that's perfectly that's normal, regular speed, buddy." So yeah, I took him to an Avs game a little while back, and that's very fast. It's fast. So the difference is striking. When you're playing, you think you're going as fast as those guys are, but then when you look at it later, it's very deliberate and slow. So hey,
there's what did they used to call that when they did the tail on the hockey on TV? How did that never take off? The
little trail on it. Yeah. I think they felt that kind of dumbed it down a little bit, but honestly, there's times where you'll lose the puck. If you watch enough hockey, you know where it's supposed to be. But I lost it the other night. I was like, I don't know where it went, and that little blue halo would be kind of nice if it just, if it got into a bunch of bodies like that. So
yeah, just use an Alexa, right? It's got the LED light. It's about the size of a hockey puck, and then you're tracking it all game long.
Yeah, those things are tracking you all game long too, buddy. So
I'll stay out of Jeff Bezos' mouth. Thank you.
All right. So Broncos season's done. Thank you for tuning in going on this journey with us this Broncos season. Captain, I'm very impressed. We stuck to it. We pretty much did it other than some holiday breaks there. I think we stuck to every week. We pretty much covered all of them. I think the bye week, I think we took that off, but I'm impressed. We stuck with it.
Two old guys made it through.
That's right. So hopefully, as he mentioned, we'll try to get some other shows here down the road. Obviously, as things progress and maybe we get closer to the draft, we'll definitely have some stuff too. But obviously, no Bronco games to talk about. So no one wants to sit here and me talk about the Avalanche to the captain who doesn't watch the Avalanche. So we'll pass on that, but we'll get back with some more Broncos stuff in the future.
They are on my phone, John. Every game I get to watch the game and I go, I have no idea what's going on, but the Avs are winning, and that makes my Colorado family happy.
Well, you mean the scores on your phone?
Yeah, that's sports.
Okay, I was just saying, watching it on your phone, it's too small. You can't tell what's going on.
No, I agree.
It's very tough. So laptops even a little tough too. So, but this was great. Thanks to everyone for tuning in this season. It was a great season. It really was. I obviously hoped it could have ended a little better than it did, but you know what? I'll take an AFC championship game, after kind of what we thought was going to happen. Right.
I agree.
Yeah, it's good stuff. So thank you, everyone. Thank you, Captain. Thanks for sticking with me and doing this, and we'll get back on it soon. So there it is. Until next time, which should be in a little while. We'll let you know when we're back. But thanks so much.
Thank you,
and the Captain.
Take Peter and me.
Adios.